Okay. So we discussed about find command and then grep command, how to use this grep, right? Find, if you use like this, right, it is going to search even in one single file also. If there are multiple entries, every entry it will find. Okay, because we want to find whether in that file the Linux word is there or not. Yes, at multiple places is there, all the multiple places it will give. Not just it is present or not. It need to find wherever it is present. Okay, so it is present at multiple lines. It is going to find those all. Next, in Linux, we have one more option to find multiple such criteria. Means I want to find for one word called Linux. I also want to find one word called hello. For example, let me take different lines. Cad hi.txt. I'll take this. So I want to search for Linux, and also I want to search for morning. For example, morning. So what you can use is there is one option called as fgrep. Fgrep. Okay, grep. You can pass only one word. I want to search for Linux, or one sentence. If you want to pass, like, means a single parameter like Linux space 123 or something like this, you can pass grep. Not only one word. If I say that Linux, it doesn't mean only one Linux. After that, one criteria you can pass. Well, Linux is something like this. Also, you can pass. It's only one criteria, right? But there is one more option called as, you can pass one sentence also, but there is one more option where we can search for multiple words. That is fgrep. Fgrep double quote start. Here I am giving Linux. Enter. You can give one more word. I want to find the word Linux. I also want to find one more word. Anything. Morning. So I want to search. I want to search for the word Linux or morning, right? Like this, enter. Again, here you are, right? So any number you can pass. Morning. I want to give hello also. Hello, or else let me use you, because hello is, this line is matching with the Linux also. You. So now I'm going to search for a word called Linux, right? In this file, I'm going to give the file name, and that file I want to search for the word Linux or morning or you. Anywhere in that file, any of these three words are present, it want to list that. You have to give it. So like this. So if you give fgrep double quotes or single quotes, anything, first give this, here only we have, right? So give the string criteria, right? Enter. This is one word. Enter. If you click, one more second word. Next, enter one more. Like this, while clicking any number of criteria you can give, and it is the starting of the search criteria, double quotes, right? It is closing. Then give space and give the file name. I want to search in hi.txt. Now in the hi.txt, this is the original content, right? See what we give, Linux. So here it is matching Linux. Here also it is matching. So both the lines it gave, welcome to Linux, welcome to Linux. Next, morning we give, second criteria. Here also in the first line it is morning matching. So it took that. Next, you we gave here. So it is also matching. The only missing thing is Linux, because we have not given that criteria. So except that all the lines as printed. So like this.
It seems like the order is missing. So it should have searched first.
What order? So where is missing order?
No, first word we have.
See, you need an order. See, it is good morning. Good morning first. Order is not important. It is not saying about the order. See, you're thinking about this order, right? No, order it is not going to search. It is just you need the result. That's it, not order. So it is going to give the file order. In a file order, but not on such criteria order. Okay. Okay. Have you understood? So this option is not there in Windows. I'm not sure. As I know, it's not there. So, but we can use in Linux. So fgrep command will search only one such string. In fgrep, we can search for multiple things. Sir, I want to search like this, not only single word, fgrep, right? So fgrep double quote start, right? I am. Okay, I am is treated as one word, right? One such. There should be something called as I am. Next, enter. Hello. Next. How are you? So like this, until you click enter. So now how are you treated as one such criteria. There should be something called as how are you. So like this also you can pass. Right? Okay. Next, that is about that. Next, let me explain some commands, then get back. Find I explained. Man, these are simple commands. I'll come back to this later. SU I explained yesterday. Links I'll discuss. Let me complete some basic normal command. Then we'll go to the other commands. Next, head command. Okay, which is also not asked in interviews, right? Very less asked, but not very frequently, but important in real time. Head, tail, right? So these commands, what is that? As for example, let me take one file, head.txt, one example, or else which is confusing. Let me take sample.txt. Okay, just for understanding, what I'll take is I'll take line numbers 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, okay, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, because I want to show the numbers, line numbers. So just I'm taking like this 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 4, 25, 26, 27. Let me take like this. The same file I'll use for other purpose also. 48. Okay. Let me take this. So now, if I cat this sample.txt, it is printing all the lines. So I need to go forward and backward. I need to move it, right? So lines are there, right? Just normally it will have text, huge text. A text file means all the text will have, right? Like this, right? How we have a document like this will have a text. But here, just to show you, if it is a text, I cannot show you the number of lines and all. So I took numbers. So it is like this. What if it is 40 lines? It's okay. I can scroll up and down. What if it has many lines, 400 lines? You cannot go or move backward and forward, right? It will come here. You want to get first 10 lines like that and all, right? So in case, if it is a huge file, I just want to get the top 10 lines. Head minus 10 and the file name. It is going to print only the top 10 lines. Head, you know, right? Head means top, right? It is going to give the top 10 lines. If we want to get only top 5 lines, okay, top 5 lines, it is going to give it. Sir, I don't give any number. What will happen? Head sample.txt. By default, it will take 10 as a number. By default, it will take 10 as a number. So head sample.txt, if we give top 10 lines, head means top, right? It is going to, by default, it is going to take top 10 lines. If you want to pass a number, you can pass any number you want, up to 15, something like this. So you can pass minus 15 directly, or else minus n 15 means number of lines. N means number of lines. Minus n 15 or minus 15, both are same. You can pass minus n 15 or minus 15, right? Like this. This is not minus, actually hyphen. So hyphen 15. So top 10 lines it is going to print if you give the number. If you don't give any number, default is 10. Understood, guys? Understood? Next, I want bottom lines. Last 10 lines I want. Tail is the command. Tail is the command. Tail. Right? Last 15 lines it is printing. Last 15 lines you give tail minus 15, right? So last 15 lines it is going to give. Here also the default number. If you don't give any number, right? Tail, head, tail, right? So now if I give tail, what is the default number? 10. So last 10 lines it is going to print. I want last 5 lines. So you can use minus 5 or minus n 5. It is up to you. Okay, last 5 lines it is going to print. Clear as head and tail command? Now take the assignment. I'll explain this tomorrow or today if possible. Think of in between lines. Head will give top 10, top 15, top 20, 30, 40 like that. Tail, bottom, I want in between. 15 to 20, 36 to 42. Like that in between lines I want. Head and tail are not suitable. Head will give only top numbers, right? Top 1 to any number, 1 to any number, tail last to any number, right? Last 10 lines, last 5 lines, last 30 lines, like that. But in between lines, if you want, head and tail will not suit. Okay, how to do that? Okay, there is something else. I'll explain when I discuss about that command. If you want, you can try it. Okay, how to find in between lines, how to print in between lines using Linux commands, right? That you find out. Next, there is something called as more, right? More. This command, for example, sample.txt. For example, let me use cat sample.txt. How the screen is, everything is printed. Everything is printed. I have to move up and down, right? I have to move up and down. So instead of cat, I'll use more here, more sample.txt. Now, what it printed is whatever can fit on my screen, only this it has printed. Whatever can fit on my screen, only this much it has printed. Now, if I click on enter, see next line 29. Next, once again 30, 31, like this. When I click on enter, it is going to print line by line. Understood, guys? So more is the command which will print your file only whatever you can fit on my screen. See, I'll reduce my screen, small screen now. Enter. How much it printed? In this screen, only 11 lines can fit. So it is printing that. If I maximize it, right? If I click on enter, so at that time starting, it was that much only, right? Now it is slowly printing one by one. So whatever can fit on your screen, only that much content it is going to print. So whenever you click on enter, next line, it will print. So you can, for example, your requirement is to read one by one. Sir, we use this in real time. This is your convenience. Your convenience. This is not any requirement, right? So in any real-time requirement, do anyone ask, for example, you are a developer or someone, will they ask you use Control F? How to do that? How to open, scroll up, scroll down? That is for our convenience. Okay, I want to read a file. Either you print it, cat it and read it, or head, tail, you use it, or more users. You want to, your requirement is to read line by line. So use it more for your convenience. Okay. These are not for data manipulation. For our convenience, we can use however we want. Next, fine, sir. There is one more option also. That is more. Control F you type. See, 28 it printed, right? Control F means forward. It prints the next possible lines. Means, for example, my screen, let me minimize it and show you. Right? So how many lines can fit on my screen is 11 lines. I'm using Control F. See, now whatever it printed from there to next, how much can fit on my screen? Control F. Next, how many can fit? Next. So the screen, page by page, the starting lines, how many can fit on my screen? Control F means next possible lines. Next, how many can fit? From there, how many is possible next? From there, how many is possible to fit on my screen? Like that, it is going to print. Understood?
So why is skipping the numbers in between when you click on Control F?
Oh, I think yes, right? I didn't notice that. I saw something, but so 1 to 11, 21% control. You can do what? There are some other options. I'll show you. Yeah, I think it is skipping. Even I observed something. Control F. Yeah, 12 is skipped, right? Yeah, it is skipping. Okay, so there are so many options also. I'll just I don't use this command. I didn't remember that. I'll show you this. Okay, I'll show that page by page also you can use down arrow, I guess. Down arrow, control down arrow. Okay, I'll show you guys. Okay, I'll show you that. Few commands. It's there in the document. I didn't remember that. Backward, forward, you can go. Now, more is the command. More is the command, right? Similar like that, we have one more command called as less. Less. What is this less? Is, can you guess what is less? More you saw. Head to tail we saw. More we saw. What is less command? Can you guess? You may guess it from backward, right? No. No, it is also same like more only. Less sample.txt. But the difference here is, for you can go forward and backward. You can go forward and backward. See, I'll type once again, control forward, control Q. See, now you observe here, less I'm using, right? See, I'm going forward, control F. It went to next line. It here it is not skipping, it went to next line. I want to go backward. Again, previous lines I want to go. Control B if you type, if you go. See, observe 1 to 11, control F. Right? Control F, 12 to 22. I want to go back, control B, backward. It will go back. But if you use the same thing, next control F, right? If you want to go back, control B, like this you can use. At the end, you have to click on Q to come out. Okay, and these are all there in the document, you don't worry. So what is the difference between more and less is both are same. But the only difference is if you use less, you can go backward also. You can go forward, again you can go backward, but more only forward. You cannot go back to previous lines. Backward is not possible on more unless it is possible. Understood, guys? Clear? Difference between less and more. More only forward direction, less both forward and backward direction. Clear? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Next, one more important thing about tail command. One more important thing about tail command. See, I'm using tail. What it will do? Tail command. Don't get confused between head and tail, more or less. Okay, be clear. More will print, more and less will print whatever can fit on your screen. You can go forward and back, but page by page, line by line, like that. Tail, top lines. No, sorry, head, top lines. Tail, bottom lines. Tail sample.txt I'm giving. What it will print? Now what it will print?
Last 10 lines.
Last line.
Last 10 lines.
Last few lines.
Last 10 lines. If you go, don't give any number, last 10 lines. If you give a number, those many lines. But in real time, there will be a file. For example, this file, it's a multi-user operating system, right? Just to think, there is one more user who is updating this file regularly. He's modifying that file, right? This is regularly getting modified. Right now also, there will be some more few lines getting appended, 41, 42, 43, like that. Now, when I tail it, it printed these 10 lines. By this time, I printed 30 seconds ago, 1 second, or 50 seconds ago, sometime, right? There might be some more lines appended to this. There might be some more lines appended to this. I want to get that last 10 lines. So now 31 to 40 are 10 lines. Next, if someone gets updated, I want to erase the few lines. I want to get the latest lines, latest 10 lines, always latest 10 lines, right? For that, you have to use -F option. You observe when I use -F option, see the cursor is not ended here. It's still there. It is still there. It is waiting. If someone updates a line, 41, if you add 31 will go up and 41 will come here. So like that, the latest lines, if you on a runtime, if someone gets updates that file, the latest 10 lines it will display. Always the latest 10 lines only it is going to display here. See, the cursor is not came out. Understood, guys? Now I need to click on Q or control C, you type, it will come out. Understood, guys? Control C, if you type, it will come. Yes. Understood? So this is important. You remember when we use this in real time is whenever we are checking logs in real time. So whenever we are debugging a root cause, one application is not working, I want to check the logs of that. So now developers will tell, hey, I'll do an operation. Whenever I click on something, there will be a log printed. You please show me the runtime logs, right? So you'll tell like this. So you'll type this command tail -F that log file name, right? That log file will get the log. So developer will click on something. So what the log will print it. We'll see that. Next, when they do the testers or developer, whenever they do next operation, the next log it will print. So because there will be huge logs, thousands of lines it will be printing. We don't want all the lines. So whatever we click, the latest 10 lines we want, like this, or latest 200 lines. So if you want latest 200 lines with this, what to do? -N 200. If we give, right? So on a runtime, it is going to print all 200. Here we have only 40, it is showing 40, but latest 200 lines, it will show like that. Understood, guys? 100 lines, latest 50 lines. Only 50 lines means you can give -N50 or -50, but on runtime I want to get. So for that, we have to use -F option. This is very much important. remember. Clear? So now guys.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me complete all the basic commands, then we'll go to something else. Okay, sed, let me discuss that sed also. Echo also, let me complete. Top, okay, zip, okay. So let me discuss about something called as sed command. Okay, guys, so far we discussed few commands, right? Head, tail, more, less, find, grep, fgrep. Now one more, find is too much important. Find is too much important. Grep is one more important. One more topmost important command is sed. Everything is important. Nothing is unimportant. Everything is important. But in that, the most important things I said. Now sed for interview point of view. And sed is also one more important command. So what is this sed? Is find and replace. Not find means not that find. It will search for some word, replace it. Right? Just a minute. I'll be back. Just a second. Okay, there is some text. There is some text. For example, Java. In place of Java, I want to substitute DevOps. So this substitutes, right? Search for some text and replace something else. Control F, replace we do, right? So like that, I want to search for something, some word. In place of that, I want to substitute something else. That you can do sed, substitute of some string. We can do using sed. Now, this is one important command. Observe here. Sed, double quotes or single quotes, anything you can use. Substitute. What you want to search is DevOps. In place of DevOps, I want to put Java and the file name. So in this file, I want to search for one word called as DevOps. In place of this, I want to put Java. Okay, let me show you this. So first, let me take hi.txt only. Cat hi.txt. So wherever there is Linux, right? In place of that, I want to put AWS, right? Sed, either double quotes or single quotes, substitute. What you want to search is Linux. I want to search for Linux. In place of Linux, what I want to put is AWS. You observe this carefully. Hi.txt. So in hi.txt, I want to search for a word called Linux. In place of that, I want to substitute AWS. Done. What happened? Sid. Okay. So what is the mistake here? I did this. After this AWS, you need to put one slash. That I missed. Okay, slash. That is mandatory. So if you don't put slash, it will not work. Right now, see cat hi.txt. Guys, good morning. There is no Linux. We need to search for Linux, right? Next, how are you? There is no Linux, but there is something. Welcome to Linux. There is one word called Linux. Here it has been replaced. Next, Linux. This is not replaced. Why? Because here we gave capital L, right? Here it is small l. If you want to use ignore, ignore case, you have to use I. I'll show you that. Next, in the next line, there is something hello Linux. Linux is there. In place of that, AWS has been substituted. So is it working fine? Is it working fine? Is it substituting AWS in place of Linux? Yes or no?
So why it isn't saving once we go back to
Wait. You wait, man. You don't be hurry. Wait. Have you understood this? Whatever I said so far?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See this. One thing, as you are asked, it is not replacing the original file. It's not. I never said this. See, either you see this like grep or something, just or substitute, forget about grep, just come here only. It will just replace and give you the result, but it is not going to modify the original file. Why means there is no answer for that. The requirement is the set command is like this. Okay, so it is not going to modify the original file. If you want to update the same result in original file, that is a different scenario. Okay, it will just it will search the original file, do the substitution, and just give you the result. One thing you have to observe is that is a good observation. I have to appreciate him. But before I ask the question, so I'm saying that is, it is not going to modify the original file. Remember this. The original file it is reading, substituting and just printing the result, but not updating the original file. One point. Second point is, let me edit the file. Let me edit the file. Here, you all think it was working fine. Now what I'll do is, just see, I'm going to write simply one more Linux. I like the word Linux. So I'm using this Linux. Okay, here also I'll use Linux. Or let me use one more Linux also. Okay, save it. First, let me cat it, that hi.txt. See, now I want to search in hi.txt. I want to search for a word called Linux. I want to substitute AWS in place of that. Remember, this last slash is important. If you don't use that, it will not work. Now you use it. Now you observe, guys. This is my original content. Good morning. So there is no Linux. Here also there is no Linux. But welcome to Linux. Here we have Linux. But you observe here, in this, 2 Linux are there. How many it has replaced with AWS? One occurrence. First occurrence it has replaced. Second occurrence it has not done anything. So in the second line there are 2 occurrences. Second occurrence it replaced, but not the first occurrence. Why?
Mismatch. This is
Case sensitivity. So we gave for L, capital L. Here small L is there. It is not matching. But in the second occurrence it matched. Capital Linux, capital L Linux. It replaced. But in the next line, if you see, there are 3 Linux, same case matching, but it replaced the only one. This is the point you have to remember. By default, sed command will replace or substitute the word only for the first occurrence of each line. In this line, this is the first occurrence. It has replaced. In this line, based on the criteria capital L, this is the first occurrence. It has replaced. This is not matching. L is not matching. So this is not the criteria. This is the first occurrence. It is mapping. In this also, 3 are there. Only first occurrence it has replaced. By default, sed command is going to replace the first occurrence. I don't want the first occurrence. I want to do the second occurrence. You can give 2. See here. In this Linux, you give 2, right? Second occurrence. It means second occurrence. First occurrence it ignored. Second occurrence it replaced. Here only 1, right? First occurrence it has not touched. Here 3 are there. Second occurrence it has touched. I want to do 3. I want to do the third one. 3 you have to use. So third occurrence. Here 2 not touched. Here only 1 not touched. Here 3 are there. 3. I want to replace all the occurrences. All the occurrences I want to replace. Then you have to use global. Means G global. All the occurrences. See, AWS. All the places it has changed. G means global. Understood, guys?
Yes,
So I want to substitute like 1 and 2 places, means that time is there chance to
Not 1 and 2
replace?
places. First or second occurrence in each line. Don't think in entire file, first occurrence, each line, occurrence of each line, first occurrence of each line, second occurrence of each line. Okay. Not in the occurrence of entire file. In line, it is going to search. Understood? Yes or no, Shravani?
Yes, bro.
Okay, please.
Now, if I give 1 here or don't give anything, both are same. By default, it is going to substitute the first occurrence. If we give 1 also, it is going to use the same occurrence, substitute the first occurrence. Okay. Next. The last, I already gave 1 assignment, right? For that also you can do. In between the lines, I want to filter or print in between the lines. Then what you have to do is, then also you have to use sed. So what is sed -n 8p, for example, 8p, all right. Oh, just double quotes. I forgot the syntax. Yeah, it's better to keep it in double quotes. Even if you don't keep also it will work, but better to keep. And sample.txt I'm going to take. See, 8th line it is printed. I want to print a particular line, 8p, sed minus an 8p. 8th line it is going to print. I want to print from 8 to 20. 8 to 20, comma, 20. So you should not give 8p, comma, 20p. You should not give 8, comma, 20p. It is going to print from 8 to 20. So in between lines or a particular line, you can use this interview question, very much important. How to print a particular line? See here, that is the reason I gave numbers. If I give a text, again, I have to count it, show and the proof. It is very bit difficult. So if I give 8p, only 8th line content it is going to give. 8, comma, 20p means 8 to 20 lines it is going to print. In between the lines, it is going to print. Said, used to substitute a string and also to print in between the lines or a particular line. Clear? Understood? Yes or no, guys?
Yes, bro.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Next, final concept for today, echo. Echo is a command. Echo is a command. Whatever you pass it here, it will print it. It will print. I passed as hi, it printed. Hello, it will print that. So whatever you give the result for echo command, it will be printed here. You may get one question, sir, I'm passing some text, the same thing it is printing here. I know whatever I'm passing, why should it print here? If it is a cat, right? Hi.txt, I don't know what is the content present inside that. So if it file, I no need to open this. So if I use cat, it will print it. I can understand whatever it is there. I can read it. Instead of opening the file, if I use cat, it will just read it. I no need to open the file. But echo, whatever I'm passing, it is printing it here. The use of this, you'll come to know in shell script. The use of it, you'll come to know in shell script. But for now, let me explain a few more points about echo. See, echo, hi, I give a lot of spaces. Then I'm printing hello. But what it is printing? It is taking only one space. It passed so many spaces, but it took only one space. So that is the reason I said, whenever you are using a string, anything, whenever you are using a string, either for echo or sed or something else, right? Grep, wherever you are using, right? Wherever you are using a string, either keep it in double quotes or single quotes. Now you observe the same command. I'm going to keep it here, double quotes, right? Now, is it treating those many spaces? Now, have you understood what is the importance of keeping a string in double quotes or single quotes? This is the use. If you don't keep that, it will not take that, right? Next, either single quotes also you can use. Single quote also you can use. Right? Single quote also you can use, but you don't use a deadly combination, starting with single quote and closing with double quote. It will still, you have not closed properly. See, it is not treating properly, right? So either use double quotes in between, right? Double quotes in between double quotes or single quotes you have to keep. Have you understood the importance of keeping a string in double quotes? Now you remember that echo. Echo means, echo is a command. Whatever you pass, it'll print it. Now echo also can be used to print variables. There is one variable called as shell, environmental variable. I want to print it value. Echo shell. Echo $shell. So shell is a variable. If I want to read the variable value, dollar is $shell. So if you use echo shell, it will just print shell. It will treat this as a string. It will treat it as a string. If you want to tell, hey, this is a variable, a equal to 10. A is a variable, 10 is a value. Like that, there is one environmental variable called as shell. I want to print the value of that. Echo $A. A is a variable. I want to print its value. There is no that a variable. There is one variable called as shell, environmental variable. It treats this. So you remember dollar, to read a variable value, we put dollar in front of that value. In front of that value variable, we put a dollar. So it will read that variable. So if you just use the echo shell, it will just print shell because it is just treated as a string. I want to tell, hey, it is not a string, it's a variable. I want to read its value. And dollar you have to put in front of that. Then it will consider. See, echo $A. There is no variable called A. It's not printing. It's not printing. So export. What is this export? You don't worry. I'll tell you later. Export. How to set a variable. A equal to 10. 10. Okay. Spaces should not be given. A equal to 10. Now echo dollar A. Is it printing that? A is a variable, its value is 10, $A, it is printing that. So export how we set the variables. I'm setting in one environmental variable A equal to 10, it has printed. Okay, that's it for today. Do you have any questions? Okay, we'll connect tomorrow then.